So let's talk about percent change. I have a couple of questions on here that we'll go ahead and cover. First off, what is percent change? Not super complicated on that one. A percent change is obviously when the percent changes, right? So when the percent changes. So I'll write that down. When now it can change. It can either increase or it can decrease. So, percent change is when a percent changes by increase or decrease. If I had to explain to you about how does this work, like how do I know that a percent changes, I would take the way it's written is that you take the new number that you get when you're looking at a change, you subtract the old, and then you divide all that by the old. So this is one way to write it. Typically when I do it, I write it this way because it makes more sense to me, but whatever works for you. So old over old, because remember that this looks like a fraction and we always take the top number and divide by bottom number. So an example of this would be, let's say that you have a toy. There's a toy, right? And the toy at first was $50, right? 50 smackaroos. And then then the price turned into, it changed, right? It changed and became $35. So, seeing that 35 is less than 50, I would say that that's a decrease, but I can't tell how much of a decrease that is. So, if I had to turn this into that, it would be 35 minus 50 divided by 50, because that was the original price. This is the first one, so divided by 50. Go ahead and do all that math, and that's going to turn into 0.3. But remember, I'm looking at percent changes, so this turns into 1, 2. That turns into 30%. So this was a 30% decrease in the price of the toy. So let's say like Disney came out with a new toy right after a movie came out, charged $50 for it, hype goes away, and price goes down to $35. So, I like saying that word, so. Right here, why do I care about percent change? Why do you care? That's a really good question, because sometimes people, they hear the numbers and they're kind of like, it kind of flies over their head, or they don't really comprehend. You usually care about percent change for a number of different reasons. So as an adult, I usually care about gas prices. So gas prices are one that I care. So the percent change going up or down is something that I have a huge investment in, because obviously I drive a car. So back in, I think it was 2008, when we were in the middle of the recession, my gas, in order for me to fill up my tank, was $4.13. I will never forget that day. So it cost me $4.13 per gallon. So it was $14 per gallon. So now when I go and fill up my car, now when I do it, it's, $1, and I think it was 99 this morning when I did that. So that's 99 per gallon, right? So obviously that's a huge decrease. So just an example, 199 minus $4.13 over $4.13. So, and if you need to do your calculator, I'll walk you through this real quick. So, let's see, clear that out. So, 199 minus 413, enter, that gives me a negative number, 2.14, and then I'm going to still divide it again by 413. And that turns into, it's a negative number, but in this case we kind of don't care about the negative number. We just know that this right here, that this negative number signals a decrease. So it's a decrease. So here it's a 0.51, and there's an 8 here. So I'm going to round this number up and turn this into 0.52. So again, I need to have it as a percentage, roll that over, and that turns into a 52% decrease in price, which sounds about right, because it went from about roughly $4 down to roughly $2. So 52% makes sense. Like I said, as an adult, I care about gas. Later on, you guys might care about price of food, so money of food, right? Another percent change that you can look at is the amount of music. So music prices comes out. So when I was your guys' ages, we had CDs. We didn't have MP3s. You know, we couldn't buy just the one song that we wanted. We had to buy the whole thing. And so if I just wanted one song, right, it cost me I think it was $15. It cost me $15 to listen to one song I loved and 6 that I didn't care about. And now I can buy an MP3 for I think the last one I bought was for $1.99. It was a new one that came out. So remember when I talked about up here about toys, new things come out, it's a big hype and goes away. So, and then I said that this right here was $15.99 for 7 songs, right? So, let me see here. So, $15.99 divided by 7. So, that was roughly about $2.28, per song that I was paying for. And every now and then you get Janet Jackson to come out with 18 songs on her track, and that was a better money investment. So, $2.99 per song versus $1.99 per song, definitely better. Those are things that I care about. So one question I didn't add on here for you, and I'm going to add it now, is, give me 1 second, is where do I see percent change? Where do I see it? All right, so you guys see percent change in a lot of different places right now. The news is all about throwing out percent change. They want to talk about how many voters came out, and how much did the price of Girl Scout cookies go up or down, and who buys more Girl Scout cookies and things like that. So you got the news. That's also the weather. People really care about the weather. You'll hear a lot of comparisons. So, for example, they said that I think it was this year or last year. They said it was the hottest. They said it was the hottest year in Arizona in I think about 30 years, right? So it was the hottest. So they literally went and they tracked the temperatures of the summer for, much longer than 30 years, but they tracked them all, and then they tracked the percent changes, and then they were able to say that, in 30 years, this has been the hottest. Now, there was a time that was hotter than this, but, nobody pays attention. It's this is the second time in a century that we've had a super hot day. But they always want to say things like this. So you got weather. Another time will be when you guys are adults and you're paying taxes. That it's actually taxes. When you are paying taxes, you are really going to care about when taxes go up or down, because that is money out of your paycheck. So you will see it in the news, the weather, taxes, and then the other thing that you will see it in is your pay. So some of you, when you first start out, are going to ask for a pay raise, and when you go to HR and you're kind of I've been here for so long, I've done so much work, I need a pay raise, and they're going to say okay, well, we'll raise your pay by 1%, and depending on how much you make, that is either a lot of money or it is not a lot of money at all. So if you're only making $8 an hour, then an extra 1% of that is really not anything. You should probably go find somewhere else to work. But if you're making something closer to probably let's say $32 an hour, and they want to give you that 1% increase, then that would probably be okay. This is okay. This is not okay. Go work somewhere else.